Hello, friends. I am Chevy. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is great. We're still talking about my European trip. We've already talked about games. We talked about Essenspiel, Spielessen, whatever. Talked about Poland. So let's talk about Germany. I spent 4-ish days of this trip in Germany. I mean, in reality, Wednesday was driving, Saturday was driving. I spent 2 days on the ground in Germany. And in that 2 days, I saw nothing but downtown, at like within 2 blocks of messy Essen. So the entire trip was in the hall of Essen. All right, so I really didn't get to experience or sightsee or do anything like that, which was fine. It was totally fine. I had an option. I could have gone with the Portal team on the Monday. So we would have, it's, by the way, from where we were in Poland to Essen, Germany, it's a 10-hour drive. So I could have gone with them on Monday, which would have meant I'd had Tuesday and Wednesday to do whatever I want. So I could have hopped on some trains and gone to see some sites and visited some things. I chose not to do that because there was still some stuff I wanted to see in Poland. I was still enjoying my time in Poland, so I just decided to go with them later in the week, which was Wednesday. I think I made the right choice because I really don't think I would have done a whole lot on my own. I think if I'd have gone to Essen, I would have just basically helped set the booth up and then just kind of hung out, which would have been fantastic, but I don't think I would have let's get on a train and go see what's out in this city or whatever. So we drove over on Wednesday and immediately hit traffic. Like, we were still in Poland and we hit traffic. And what I learned, there was a good reason for that. Well, I don't know if it was a good reason, but there was a reason. First of all, I don't know if it came through on the video from yesterday. I don't have good video of this to show you, but the highways there are not like our interstates. Our interstates are these wide, expansive roads. Their highways are more like what I would call a highway here. 2-lane, very narrow, there's whatever. And on top of that, there's no shoulders. Or there's very little shoulder. So there's not, in America, you have room on both sides of the highway to completely pull off the highway and get out of traffic. There's none of that. I saw none of that in my entire time in Poland and Germany. So we start to leave the city and we run into traffic immediately. And as we're driving through this traffic, we see just tractor trailers lined up for 10 to 20 kilometers. I mean, kilometers of these trucks. And I was like, what the hell is going on? Whatever. Got to the front of all that. There was nothing. It wasn't like there was an accident or anything, but all these trucks were lined up. What I discovered later was that Tuesday was a national holiday in Germany. It was Reunification Day. And so there's literally no working. Like, when Europeans stop work, they stop. That's just, we're done. And so the trucks are not allowed to drive. It's a shut down holiday, so trucks couldn't drive. So what they did was park in Poland at the border and just wait until they could start driving. And so that was wild to me. Just mind-breakingly wild. So Germany, driving through Germany, we basically bisected Germany. We took the A4 out of Poland to the 4, and it went through south of Berlin. I don't really know where we were. We were just kind of in this countryside of Germany until we got to Dortmund, which is right next to Essen. That area, Dortmund, Essen, there's 6 cities all connected up there. So we basically bisected Germany. And I got to see a lot of sights from the car, just from the car. And what I saw was, again, kind of these rolling, not necessarily hills in Germany, more like just little, undulations, lots of farmland, 1.5 million wind turbines. I mean, wind turbines everywhere you could possibly look. There was wind turbines, just hundreds and hundreds and probably thousands of turbines. I was not aware that Germany was such a windy place, but apparently it is. But you look off in the distance, off of the Autobahn, and you would just see little villages. And they were all the same. There was a big steeple, a big chapel in the middle, and then tiled roofs surrounding it. And they were just, all over the place. And so that was really cool to view from the car. My first real experience in Germany was the perfect first German experience. At 1 p.m., Ignacy decided it was lunchtime. That's when he eats lunch. So we just got off the Autobahn wherever we were and just drove until we found a place to eat. And he said this is what he does when he's in Germany. He explained to me that you just every single German town will have a little pub that serves schnitzel, and that's what we're gonna go get. And that's exactly what we did. We drove pretty far off the Autobahn, actually, found this little village, found a little, it was called like the Hotel of something. I'll try to put some pictures up. And we went in, and this was my first experience in an actual, like what I would call a pub. I assume that it is a pub. I don't really know. Pubs in America, not the same things as pubs in Europe. Pubs in America are just bars that serve food. I don't really think that's the right. That's not the context of a pub in Europe. This pub that we walked into, it felt like going into the communion hall at my church. Like, it was very quaint, very nice. Like, it was not nice, but very just homey. It was like walking into a person's living room and sitting down for dinner. And it was also the kind of place that when we walked in, the locals all turned and looked at us like, who are these people? You know? And the waiter, his English was really bad. Like, he just didn't, we were, and of course, so you've got Ignacy who barely speaks English talking to this German guy who barely speaks English, trying to figure out, the guy told us they don't take credit cards, they only take cash. We didn't have cash. Where can we get cash? Is there a cash machine? He kept trying to tell us, yeah, maybe a kilometer that way or something. Turns out we had like 50 euros, which was enough to eat there. And so we sat and we had schnitzel. I had schnitzel with mushrooms and french fries, and I'm pretty sure parsnips. I'm not positive, but there were these little white things. I think they were parsnips. And it was beautiful. It was my first real schnitzel experience. I've had American schnitzel. I've had, country fried whatever, pork chops and all that sort of stuff, which is similar but not quite the same. And it was just this beautiful little place. It was cozy, comfortable, and had good food. And so that was my first real German experience. Got back on the Autobahn, kept on going. We got to Dortmund. It turned out that Dortmund was playing somebody in the Champions League that night. And Dortmund is Ignacy's favorite team in Bundesliga. So he called a friend, and the friend was able to get tickets. This friend works in that industry and was like, yeah, I can get tickets. So they got tickets. And Ignacy got to go see Dortmund play. Driving through Dortmund, that was possibly my first real European city experience. Like, I get it. There is no possible way that my wife's Trailblazer or Blazer or whatever she has could fit in that area. There was just no way. These streets were extremely cramped. And on top of that, so you'd have this basically one-lane road, what we would call a one-lane road in America, where there is no way to pass. And there would be cars parked like this. And so you had to do this to get down this road. And if somebody was coming the other way, good freaking luck. One of you had to back up, and you'd have to try to get into one of these areas between cars and make a path. It was mind-blowingly what the hell is happening right now. No way this would happen in America. These cars would all be towed, right? This is an extreme hazard. So we did that, dropped him off. I was staying with the Portal team in we rented apartment, Airbnb kind of place, someplace not in Essen. But my experience there, I went to Essen. I got to have some fair food. I got to have currywurst, which is sausage cut up with spiced ketchup. It was okay. I would say that the fun part for me, I don't like sugar. I'm not a fan of sugar, and American foods all have sugar. We put sugar in freaking everything here, and it disgusts me. We put sugar in our bread. It's just sugar in everything. And so the ketchup that the currywurst was made with is not the super crazy sweet ketchup that we have in America. And but it had other flavors that were off-putting. But I think I would have liked the ketchup by itself. It wasn't nearly as sweet as American ketchup, which was good. So currywurst with fries and mayonnaise. I got to have a kebab. Like I told you yesterday, I'd tell you there was kebab shops everywhere. They would whatever kebab, whatever kebab, whatever kebab. And in my head, when I think of a kebab here, I think of the thing that we cook on the grill, a metal stick with some meats and onions and peppers and tomatoes stacked up, roasted. That is not a kebab. A kebab there is just a gyro. It's literally just gyro meat with some lettuce, some tzatziki sauce, some tomato on bread. Like, it was just a gyro. However, this is a doner kebab in Germany, is made with a different kind of bread. The bread is kind of chewy. It's kind of tough to get through, but it was very good. It was a very good sandwich. So I was glad to get to experience that. I got to have a Bavarian pretzel with cheese on it. So I had good fair food. Both nights we were there, we ate at Fitzpatrick's Irish Pub. Going to the Irish pub in Germany was kind of funny. And this again is what we would call an Irish pub in America, but not. It was very far removed, I believe, from if the experience that I had in that village was a real pub, this was just a traditional, like, we're going to call this a pub, but it's going to be knick-knackified and shitified up. Like, it was just a Irish pub. So I had fish and chips the first night I was there. It was okay. Came with peas, which was fine. And the second night I had their schnitzel. And for whatever reason, I didn't take a picture of their schnitzel. I took pictures of everything else I ate on this trip, including chips and everything else. Beers, took a picture of everything. Did not take a picture of that schnitzel. And it was just okay. It was nothing compared to the little pub schnitzel I had earlier. Got to go to a grocery store in Germany, which was great. I got to look at all these weird products that were not quite right. I found some chips that I hadn't tried yet, paprika flavored, which is apparently super, super popular in both Poland and Germany. I wish I could get paprika chips. I loved them. They are basically barbecue chips without the sugar. Again, take the sugar out and you have a European version of whatever. And so paprika is basically barbecue without the sugar, and I would love to have those on a regular basis. Onion flavored chips, fantastic. Paprika chips, amazing. So I got to experience a little grocery store with a little lady running the store who didn't speak any English. She was fun. And then Saturday we left. We left and came back to Poland. We again stopped in a small village, but this time we found a clubhouse at a golf course and ate there. And had their schnitzel, and it was phenomenal schnitzel. Like, it was unbelievable. I can still taste it, and I want more of it. It was so good. I got again with the mushrooms, and just fan-freaking-tastic. So my time in Germany, it was tiny, but I felt like I got to see what I needed to see of Germany. I took German classes in high school, so I have a tiny inkling of their language, and I got to experience a lot of their culture at the fair. I got to see a lot of the, I'll say this. In America, people are apologetic when they get in your way. If you're at the fair and you want to stop and look at something, you will get out of it. You'll say, I'm sorry, and get out of people's way. Germans will not do that. They will just stand in the middle of the aisle and look at you, not look at you, just whatever. People stare a lot. They'll just stare at you and just completely without any sort of misgivings about staring. They'll just stare at you, which is a little bit weird. But they were extremely courteous on the road. The Autobahn, people going, a couple 100 kilometers an hour, everybody gets out of their way. It's not a problem. Scissor merging, not a problem. Like, the roads are very friendly. Yeah. Oh, and one more thing, their tow hitches are hilarious. And I'm just going to, that picture's it. They're hilarious. So that was my time in Germany. I think we're done here. I don't think I have anything else to talk about unless you guys have questions about specifics from the trip, and maybe I'll piece something together of highlights for tomorrow. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know sounds smart is soporific. Soporific. It's an adjective meaning something so boring, tedious, or exhausting that it makes one start to fall asleep. If Cassandra weren't such an important social contact, her soporific speech would surely cause us to avoid her. Soporific. S-O-P-O-R-I-F-I-C. Pretty sure I've heard that pronounced soporific, and so that's why I keep trying to say it, but it says soporific. So I'm going to go with that.